I think China would have been in a parlous condition. So fortunately for China, the man he rusticated, Deng Xiaoping, came back from the wilderness, pushed aside Hua Guofeng. In 1978, he visited Bangkok, Kuala Lumpur, and Singapore to persuade us to combine with China and stop Vietnam, the Cuba in Southeast Asia of the Soviet Union, when they were about to attack Cambodia. I had the privilege of meeting him, talking to him for 3 days. And he is, in my lifetime, the most impressive man I have ever met. Small, barely 5 feet, stood erect, tremendous aplomb, a man of few words, but carefully thought, every few words carefully thought out. He spent 1 hour after all the ride from the airport back to the office and to his villa. We met in the afternoon, and I think 1 hour plus translation, because I never deal in any negotiations in Chinese without a translation, because I will be at a disadvantage. So it took nearly 2 hours. And I noticed his interpreters did not take notes, but they gave almost verbatim correct explanation, translation of what he said. So my surmise was that he made the same spiel in Bangkok, in Kuala Lumpur, and this was the 3rd rehearsal. So the translators knew it by heart. When he finished, urging us why we should combine and stop Vietnam from imperiling the rest of Southeast Asia, it was about 6:30. I said, would you like me to respond now? Or would you like to rest, have dinner, and when we are fresh tomorrow, we can talk? He thought I wanted to have time to think about what he had said, which is partly true. Just like, we'll have dinner. So we spent the evening talking, and I said, you must come to Beijing again. I'm sorry I wasn't there when you came. I was kept out of the capital. I went there in May 1976 to meet Mao Zedong, and he wasn't there. But he said, never mind, come again. I said, when China has stabilized and growing, I will come again. So, oh, that will take a very long time. Come now. He's a very forthright man. So I decided the next day that I'll come straight to the point. I told him, you have explained to me why we should all combine in Southeast Asia and join you in blocking the Vietnamese who are wicked and wanted to capture Cambodia. Now I will tell you what my neighbors want to do. They want me to join them and confront you, not the Soviet Union. The Soviet Union is thousands of miles away, and the Soviet Union has no broadcasting station, egging, urging, agitating communist parties in Southeast Asia to overthrow their governments. You are, from your radio stations in South China. I did not know then that the radio stations were not in Yunnan, but in Changsha and Hunan. which we later discovered. He said, and as long as you are doing that and sending them money to buy arms and doing all these things, it's most unlikely that I'll be able to persuade them to join you. So, having met Hua Kofeng in Beijing in a long encounter, I had expected a blustering reply, because Hua Kofeng, he captured me after sending me off to the Great Wall. I went to the Great Wall, then they gave me lunch at the Ming tombs, so hot, dusty. I downed beer, then I arrived back at the guest house at Tiao Yi Tai. I said, meeting. Oh? This was regular. Having had to deal with communists in Singapore, I knew exactly what they were up to. They first made me tired, and they said, now we'll have a meeting. So I said, okay, right. I said, I'll wash up first. Went up, cleaned up, freshened up, drank a lot of Chinese tea, sat down and listened to him. I said, now I have something very serious to talk to you. I hear you are in military alliance with Taiwan. I said, oh? He says, yes, your troops are there. So he went on a great speech. He says, Taiwan belongs to China. I said, yes, we know that. But the de facto control is with the nationalist government, and I have to go there and deal with them. So this is a very serious matter. I said, we are not training with the Taiwanese troops. We are not in alliance with Taiwan. We're just training by ourselves because we are so small. If we fire our artillery guns, they go 20 miles. We're already across our border. So we have to go somewhere. I said, I decided to counterattack. I said, by the way, you told me yesterday that communists never interfere in the activities of other countries. Why are you giving arms and support to the Malayan Communist Party to overthrow the Singapore government? So he was not briefed on this. So his foreign minister wrote up a long note for him. He just pushed it aside. He knew there was no chance his reading it, mastering the facts, and then arguing with me. So he pushed it aside, says, never mind. But let me tell you this, wherever communists fight, they will win. So I had expected Deng Xiaoping to tell me something like that. He paused, he closed his eyes, looked at me and said, what do you want me to do? I took a deep breath and I said, this man can do business. I said, stop it. Change your policy. Then we'll join you and stop the Vietnamese. He paused, he said, give me time. And it took 18 months before I met him again in Beijing. And he said, we have told them they must stop. We have closed down the radio stations. We are not giving them any more support.